A very good morning, dear students. So, how are you all doing? I hope and I am sure you must be taking good care of yourselves and that you must be enjoying learning the lessons. The semester exams are coming nearer and nearer, and you need to keep learning the lessons. Today, we continue with the same theme, that is unity in diversity in India. And we have already learnt about the various physical features. We have been doing the various physical divisions, and today we will conclude this theme, that is unity in diversity. And we are going to learn what we mean by this term. So, let us begin. The phrase unity in diversity was coined by our first Prime Minister, and you all know his name. He was Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. In his book, The Discovery of India, he emphasized that unity and integrity of India are inherent in its civilization from the very ancient times. So, Jawaharlal Nehru was very eager, and he was very particular that we remain united and as a nation. During the freedom struggle, Indians from all walks of life joined hands to oppose the British rule. Citizens from all castes, religions, and regions fought shoulder to shoulder under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi to win freedom from the foreign rule. Now, this is the reason we should preserve our unity and integrity, because it is a very hard earned freedom. So, now let us move further and know exactly how we are all different and yet we are all one as Indians. We begin with religious diversity. In India, people have the freedom to choose any religion. There are followers of Hinduism, Islam, Buddhism, Jain, Sikhism, and Christianity. So many different religions, they exist together. People of all different religions, they live together as Indians. There are common beliefs and customs among all these religions. The government does not discriminate people on the basis of their religion and gender. So all Indians, they enjoy equal status. We also have diversity in food habits. Different types of food grains, vegetables, and fruits are grown in different regions. This variety is due to the geography of our country, and we have learned about the different kinds of climates and soil types, different amount of water that we have in different areas. So, because of these, we have different kinds of crops grown in different part of the country, and every state has its favorite dish. Like in Punjab we have makki ki roti and sarson ka saag. In Tamil Nadu we have idli dosa, rasagulla, fish rice are famous dishes of Bengal. Pav bhaji is famous in Maharashtra. And do you know about what food is famous in Bihar and Jharkhand? Have you heard of litti chokha? Litti chokha is a very popular food among Biharis and Jharkhandis, and we have other food like dhuska, and many local varieties are found in different areas of every state. We also have different kind of languages, and that brings us to diversity in languages. There are 22 major languages in our country recognized by the Indian Constitution. Our Constitution has recognized 22 major languages, and they include Assamese, Bengali, Bodo, Dogri, Gujarati, Hindi, Kannada, Urdu, Oriya, Maithili, Marathi, Manipuri, Punjabi, Tamil, Konkani, Telugu, Sanskrit, Sindhi, Nepali, Kashmiri, Malayalam, and Santhali. So these are the major languages spoken in India. In different regions, Hindi is the official language of India, and it is written in Devanagari script. Sanskrit and Tamil are the oldest languages, and English is an associate language. It is also called the second official language. Now, from food to language to religion, now we move to dresses. As we all have been learning, and we all know, different states, different regions in India have different culture and different dresses too. The diversity of culture in India can be seen from the variety of clothes people wear. People living in towns and cities wear modern dresses, like men wear trousers, shirt, jeans, t shirt, while women wear saris, skirts, salwar, suit, jeans, and trousers. But we have traditional dresses too, and these traditional dresses are worn by people living in villages. Women wear saris, ghagra, choli, and salwar. Usually, this is their dress. The way women tie saris also differs from state to state. Ghagra is very common in Gujarat, Rajasthan, and Madhya Pradesh. Long, narrow skirts are worn in northeastern states. Women wear lots of traditional jewelry also. Men in villages wear dhoti kurta, lungi, trousers, shirts, and kurta pajama. Kashmiri men, they wear salwar kameez with firan because it is very cold there, and this firan is woolen and it keeps them warm. Men wear turbans and caps in different ways. The pagri or turban of Sikhs is different from the pagri of Rajasthani men. So you can also see the picture of a Rajasthani family wearing traditional dresses. Here is a collection of traditional dresses worn in different parts of India. You can see northeast, we can see Kashmiri dresses, Marathi dresses, typical South Indian dresses, then Punjabi dresses, ghagra, choli, everything can be seen in this collection of dresses. Now we move to diversity in festivals. India is a land of festivals. The festivals of India can be divided into three categories, that is, national festivals, religious festivals, and seasonal festivals. Now, what are national festivals? National festivals are the festivals which are celebrated all over the country. And which are these? These are Independence Day or 15th August, Republic Day or 26th August, and Gandhi Jayanti, which is Mahatma Gandhi's birthday, celebrated on 2nd October. A large number of religious festivals are also celebrated in our country. These festivals are related to different religions. The important religious festivals are Holi, Diwali, Dashera, Eid, Christmas, Guru Parv, Durga Puja, Buddha Jayanti, Mahavir Jayanti, and Ganesh Chaturthi. These festivals are celebrated with great pomp and show, not only by the people who belong to that religion, but by all of us together. We celebrate these festivals. Some festivals are linked with seasons. Holi and Vasant Panchami are festivals of spring. Baisakhi in Punjab, Onam in Kerala, and Pongal in Tamil Nadu are harvest festivals. And this brings us to the most important term or concept that we have learnt by learning about these diverse festivals, food, religions, dresses, languages, and that is unity in diversity. Now, what does this mean? And we have already learned that this term was coined by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and it means that in spite of much variation in climate, food habits, dress, and languages, there is an underlying cultural unity in India. All of us are different, yet all of us are one. All of us share our glorious history and are proud of it. People in India have stood united in face of various foreign invasions down the centuries. There is indeed a unity in diversity in our country, and nothing can separate us. We are all Indians, and we all will remain together as Indians. Whether we live in Assam, or we live in Tamil Nadu, or we live in Maharashtra, or we live in Jammu and Kashmir. All the states together, they make one India, and we are all Indians, and we shall always strive for the unity and integrity of our country. So, with this, we come to the end of this lesson, and we also come to the end of video tutorials. So, we will not be having any more videos. Go through these videos which I have posted this week of 2 different lessons. I have tried to put more pictures for you so that you find it interesting and enjoyable. And these are something which we have been learning since you were in class 1, 2 or 3, so it will not be difficult for you to learn. I have also put the exercises here, so let us very quickly go through them. I am not going to read them. You can do that yourself, and you can check your answers if you have done them, and if you haven't done them still, please do them in the book and check your answers. So here we have tick the correct answers. I have done the answer, so you can check your answers. This is also tick the correct answer. Then we have match the following, and you will not be matching with numbers. Like I keep telling you, in exam you will match as word meanings, and in your book write the numbers and match. Here we have fill in the blanks. We have to choose the correct word and fill in the blanks. Again, I have done this for you. If you have already done, please check your answer and write true or false. And we will be writing true for correct sentences and false for incorrect sentences, which I have also corrected for you so that you can make out why they are false or what is wrong in those sentences. So I hope you have enjoyed learning social studies with me, and that you are learning the lessons well and also enjoying what you are learning. That is the main thing. You should not only study, but you should also enjoy what you are studying. So all the best for your coming exams, and I am sure you will do very well in all your papers. All the best.